All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. So we have to get ready for today, obviously, and kind of look where our parameters are. It's going to be choppy, at least for the next few hours. We're going to be whipping around all over the place. I was just kind of focusing here on the Canadian yen. I was looking a little bit earlier, just as we were knocking our head up against resistance. I'm following these yen pairs pretty closely. Obviously, the Canadian yen, uh, the Mexican peso, Japanese yen, as I blogged about. I'm keeping an eye on those because if they show strength, that's going to be a pretty good indication to me that Hillary Clinton is pulling ahead, or the market's fairly confident in her winning. So I think the guidance that I'll be looking for is in some of these yen pairs. But that doesn't mean that we won't trade the euro, that you won't trade the euro, and some of these other pairs. So we just kind of need to figure out where our boundaries are. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the euro dollar. And as you might recall yesterday, we were talking about support being at 110.40. Well, we're we we dropped to 110.30, and we basically have been bouncing around there and then bounce back up again. So really, just looking at the euro dollar, I mean it's pretty clear to us, where support is for today. I'd like to not write down though this low, because in early going today you might see Hillary Clinton pull ahead, and the dollar start to strengthen, and where does that put the euro dollar? So and that's what I got to think. Okay, well, where if we do get Clinton pulling ahead initially, where does that take us? And I think the move down to like 110 is going to be pretty important. Here, let's go ahead and get rid of this, since this is from yesterday. Let's remove that, and let's note, because this is holding for now, but let's note this area. Okay, we have 101.90 or 109.90, excuse me, and then 110.10 basically, which is 161% extension of this move. So I'm going to just write down 110 as being support. Now take 10 pips or so. Okay, this is going to be probably pretty key support for the bulls, or for dollar bulls. So if you see the euro dollar breaking through 110, that probably is suggesting that Clinton looks to be the market's pretty confident in a Clinton win. Like I said, the dollar is going to benefit from Hillary Clinton, at least near term, and because the markets will see that as the outcome that's less likely to shake the tree. All right, the likely outcome that is not going to create volatility in the market. So if that doesn't happen, then the Fed's going to raise rates in December. Dollar should gain some strength. Now, obviously, we got to think about the other situation. Well, what happens if Donald Trump becomes president, or even looks like he's got a good chance? Well, I think the euro, like you saw over here, is going to start to weaken, or the euro is going to start to strengthen as the dollar weakens. This is very key resistance. Okay, if you look at the highs back in when we were at 116 back in May or April, to the lows this last month, The 38% retracement is 111.43, and we went as high as 111.40. So what that tells you is this is really key resistance. But if it breaks, so I'll say 111.40, if that breaks, that's telling you that Donald Trump is probably either looking like he's pulling ahead or is the likely winner. Okay. So I think the euro will tell us quite a bit about what's happening. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the cable. The pound is going to be probably less telling to us of what's happening. But the thing about the pound is the pound has, in my opinion, some pretty good boundaries right now that we've set. You know, first and foremost, hold on one second. First and foremost, the spike high over here came within a, within striking distance of the 38% retracement. So we know that 125.75 is key resistance. Now, support is going to be, once again, at 123.25. All right, now let's get rid of this one. We don't need this yellow line for right now. Okay, it's not relevant. Okay, so we have this the support that comes in at 123.25, resistance that comes in at 125.75, and I think we need to look for 125.75. We need to respect that range that we're seeing right now. Okay, we need to respect this range at this point. You know, support here, resistance here. Sorry, just getting a drink. Okay, let's go over to the dollar Swiss. So the dollar Swiss, really don't know what to do with the dollar Swiss right now. I don't have a real good idea of how to trade it. I mean, you know, you can see we fell to the 88% retracement here. I think the bigger move over here, the 786, is probably going to support. So I'm going to remove that for now. Any rally in the dollar Swiss will probably be stopped right here. You know, unless it's a Clinton win, but you know, for right now, I think we've got our, you know, notice that we're right smack dab in the middle of this range, which, you know, ahead of key events, and you tend to be mid-range. So 96, and this is also trend line support, by the way. Oops, didn't want to do that. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Notice this is also, you know, near trend line support right here. So any dip down to 96.35 should be pretty well supported. Resistance, 98.40. We are in a range in this one as well. All right, let's take a look at the US dollar, Japanese yen. Now the yen, it's obviously pretty strong right at the moment, and this is one of those. I agree with Paul here. This is one of those pretty clear winners, in my opinion. If Hillary Clinton wins, I think the dollar yen, or the yen, is going to be weaker, generally speaking. The problem that I see here is if Hillary Clinton does win, I don't know how much opportunity is here. Okay, meaning I don't know how much upside that we have from current levels. Do we ride to 106? Do we get maybe to 107? Like, what's the potential here? I don't know if there's a huge amount of potential. I will tell you this though. I think this is going to be important resistance, which is 105.50. Okay, that's obviously trend high. So this is another one of those indicators that like Paul was talking about. I agree with him that you can watch the dollar yen, because if the dollar yen clears 105.50, that's telling you that the market's pretty convinced of who's winning today. Okay, that would be a Hillary Clinton win. Okay, so 105.50, is obviously trend highs. Now, one of the things that could obviously happen on if Trump looks like he's pulling ahead in the polls, in early polling or exit polling, um, if that starts to happen, I mean, we could very easily fill this gap and, quite possibly, break 102, 102.50. Let's get rid of this here. So I think what we should pay attention to is just the 102.50 area. I know I'm giving you pretty wide parameters right now, but we kind of have to deal with it on days like today. It was a historic day, potentially in the markets, and you've got to have some wide ranges here that you're playing in, especially in pairs like the yen that are going to be pretty influenced by this election, by any type of exit polls that we see. One of the one of the other things that I didn't mention yet, but I want to mention, okay, is that if Hillary Clinton, it looks like she's a pretty clear winner tonight. Okay, if it looks like she's a pretty clear winner going into this evening, and futures are up, and yen is weak, dollar strong. Do you think it's over? I don't, because if Donald Trump contests the election, we could see all sorts of havoc be wreaked in the market. So I think it's important that you don't get really comfortable with a Hillary Clinton win if she is the winner or declared the winner until you hear a concession speech. Okay. If there's a concession speech from Donald Trump, then you can say, okay, it's over. But I wouldn't count on it, especially if it's a close race. If it's a close race, and it's you know uh, you know Hillary Clinton at 51 and Donald Trump at 49, or Hillary Clinton at 50.5 and Donald Trump at 49.5. I don't know if Clinton will write a concession, or give a concession speech. He may actually contest it. So if that happens, that sends the market into a bit of a panic. So don't feel comfortable about Hillary Clinton winning unless you get a Donald Trump concession speech. And at that point in time, I think you can say, all right, well, she won. It's over. Time to take profits, or I need to get out of some positions or whatever. Okay, but it ain't over until the yellow man. Did I say yellow man? I mean, I don't know what I was gonna say. Anyway, okay, but anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about that. All right, let's go over to the Canadian. All right, here's the Canadian. Now, the Canadian is one of those that I think is going to be a winner tonight. Should Hillary Clinton win? Now, if Donald Trump wins, the Canadian's going to be one of the clear losers as well. I mean, this is going to be driven by the election tonight. if Trump wins, the dollar Canadian's probably going to go a lot higher, and if Clinton wins, the dollar Canadian's probably going to break through support. So for us, what's most important today is going to be that 133 support, which is that yellow line down below, and this high right here, which is 134.60. Okay, that is what we should be paying attention to. Okay, 133, 134.60. Okay. And while we're above 133, it's still a bullish trend. Yeah, KH, Club Metro, that's exactly where my mind was at, but my words didn't come out correctly. So that's what happens when you get up an hour and a half early. Okay, anyway. So the Kiwi. Let's go take a look at the Kiwi. Now the Kiwi has been pretty strong. It's held up really well. I have no exposure right now, so I'm just looking at the Kiwi going, man. And I don't know if I told you guys this yesterday. I got out of my Aussie New Zealand long yesterday. I'm kind of I wanted to wait with the Aussie New Zealand unless I pick it up at a really good price today. I kind of wanted to wait until after the New Zealand rate decision on Wednesday. So I'm out of the Aussie New Zealand for now. For now. But I look at this Kiwi and it's strong, and I think, you know, we have to look at the overnight lows, which is 72.92, and then the resistance being right here at 70, 73, 68, 73, 70. I don't know how to trade the Kiwi right now. I don't know. I don't have a good idea of what the Kiwi's going to do regarding tonight, like reaction tonight. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm not trading it. Which usually, you know, I'm bearish to Kiwi. I can say, all right, well, I'm gonna sell it here. I'm not that comfortable with the Kiwi right now. It's been holding up well. I don't have a good read on it, so all I can do is I can say, all right, well, 72.90 and 73.70, and we just kind of leave it alone until I have some better ideas, or we have some better ideas on what's driving the Kiwi. Okay, I think that's going to be important. It's okay not to know. And be okay with it. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay not knowing what I'm going to do with the Kiwi. Usually I'm very opinionated, and you guys know that. When I have an opinion, I'm pretty headstrong. I hate nothing more than I hate than putting range in all of these. Nothing more. It's like drives me bananas. I love to be extremely biased, you know. Doesn't mean I do my analysis in a biased basis, but I like to be biased as far as like how I'm going to trade the markets. I really am kind of at a loss right now, and that's why I'm, you know, going into this election with a clean slate. You know, I want to look at both sides of the coin right now. I think it's important. All right. Well, anyway, here's the Aussie. Okay, so the Aussie, as you all know, we have major resistance right. Well, we have it right there. So we have two levels of resistance right now, 77.30 and then 77.55, I think. 54, 55, okay. Those are all really key at the moment. So we have 77.30. I'm going to write 77.60, and that is key resistance. You know, obviously, if that breaks in the Aussie, the one thing that I want to tell you is you don't want to be short the Aussie in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so that goes for everything. I mean, if the Aussie dollar, you know, takes out this resistance here tonight, and we close above 77.60, you don't want to be like long the Euro Canadian or Euro Aussie, excuse me. You don't want to be long the pound Aussie. You don't want to be short the Aussie New Zealand. If the Aussie dollar is breaking higher, that's bullish. All right, on the Aussie across the board. Support right now. Um, we can look at trendline support obviously, but I think key support for bulls is 76.50 for now. Okay, that's gonna be support for bulls for today, right there. Because if we break through that, then now we're making lower lows. All right. When we get back, we're going to do the rest of these currencies, and we have to make sure we go over the peso, because obviously the peso, oops, this is a range. For now, this is threatening to go bullish, but we're range. So we got to go over the dollar index, the peso, the Nordic currencies. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks, everybody. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. So there was some polling numbers that just came out that you know, put Hillary Clinton on the electoral votes ahead of Donald Trump. But that, again, it's early. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. You're gonna get numbers all over the place, and you know, see some volatility here. Wait for turnout. You know, turnout's going to be really important today. All right, let's take a look at the dollar index. Here's the dollar index, and now the dollar index. Here, let's go over to a 4-hour chart. We drew this out yesterday, kind of you know, some resistance levels that we had right up here, this area, and I'm going to actually remove these lines here because I still think this is pretty important as far as what we can expect. And I'm going to delete this for now. And I think what we have to really pay close attention to is, you know, this 98.20 level and this 96.90. And remember, we're still in a very strong uptrend, but you know, a Donald Trump victory would put the dollar on its knees. You know, we would see this. This is Donald Trump's momentum from last week. This is Hillary Clinton's momentum from this week. You can see that what we're seeing here now. All right. So 98.20, 96.90, and 96.90, and resistance is at 98.20, and I'm putting this in a range. Oops, in a range. Okay. Hold on 1 second, please. All right, so we've done up to the dollar index, and here's your dollar once again. All right, let's take a look at the peso. Now this is the one that I'm watching, and on a Hillary Clinton win tonight, like, you know, let's say that Hillary Clinton does win, and let's say Donald Trump does concede. All right. You guys do understand that the 200-day moving average is right here. Uptrend line is right here. And tonight, if It's over. Like we can walk away tonight and say Donald Trump conceded, Hillary Clinton is going to be the next president. I'm shorting the US dollar Mexican peso. Just so you guys know. All right. I will stay up late tonight in order to do that. I will. Okay. Um, Now, if Donald Trump wins or he doesn't concede and he contests this, that's where we get the bounce in the peso. All right. So I'm going to write down 1844, 18.4400 is the major support. Did I make myself clear with all the asterisks there? That's pretty clear, right? Okay. And like I said, I think what's important here is you don't get caught up in the, oh, Hillary Clinton won, that's what the poll numbers say, without getting the confirmation. Now, the flip side to this conversation is you got to watch this resistance. This resistance held us since the gap on Sunday. If we break through 1870, that tells us that 1870, I think is 1872. 1872. If we break through 1872, that's telling us that Donald Trump is either pulling away in the polls or it's looking increasingly likely like he's going to win. All right. Pedro says, please tweet out what you were doing. No. No. You know, there's certain things. Let me stop for a second, Pedro. Let me explain to you a few things. All right. How much do you pay for this webinar? Zero, zilch, right? Zero, all right? We have WiseTrade customers that have been WiseTrade customers for some of them for 15 plus years, right? I'll be in the chat room tonight. I actually kind of have to give them preferential treatment because they're paying customers to keep the lights on. So I'll be trading with those guys. Other than a few tweets, maybe about this, that, the other thing on Twitter tonight, you're not going to see me much on Twitter. Forex Analytics customers, they'll get charts of things that I'm doing, and I'll probably have a couple patterns in play going on tonight. But, you know, I give a lot for free. A lot. I would venture to guess more than anybody that you know out there in the markets right now. Wouldn't you agree? I give you 3.5 hours of my day for free. There are some things I reserve for the special people in my life. Okay. Enough said. U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona. So the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona is Rick says, but I want to be special. I think we're pretty clear here on what the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona is showing us. Support at 1814, resistance at 1830. Nope, 830, sorry. We're in a range. But this right here, Let's get rid of this for now. That's what's containing us. That's what's containing the market. All right. US dollar, Swedish krona. You know, same as yesterday. Notice this, though. Well, actually, let me see if I can go through all that. I guess you can do it like that, but the bottom line is 888, 909, and it's still bullish while we're above there. While we're above 888, which, by the way, 888 is really key support. Really, that's what keeps the bull in check. 909, and this is still bullish. Okay, your bias chart's done. We're finished. Okay, and now you guys have, you know, your levels that I think will give you a pretty good guideline tonight of, you know, kind of your sandbox, you know, if you will. Like, play inside your sandbox. You know where the out of bounds areas are.